All right, back to sourcing. It is September 9th. As of the time of this recording, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I know I have been pretty absent in the comments section, but keep your comments coming. I am going to jump back in. Just been busy dealing with, I think my youngest has almost kicked this cough and slightly runny nose that she has. You know, kids went back to school, so it's all those things. And it's hard for me to determine if this is a cystic fibrosis related issue, the lingering cough, or if it's more of a sickness thing because she's always in such high spirits, always feeling so good, high energy. So it's just been managing that in the background, trying to stay healthy myself, and then actually trying to plan my newfound increased amount of time to work. And so for that reason, I've just been a little bit absent, but I will jump in and answer some questions. May even do a segment in a future video where I answer some questions live for you folks. Just wanted to want you to know that I appreciate all of you commenting and all the positive vibes that you have been sending my way. But we are doing what we do. It's time to get to work. So I am very heavily focused on two things right now: replenishing my shoes and trying to find Halloween items. This game though, I mean, it's $5. You know what? It's probably going to sell Continuo, the name of that, but it was marked $5. I put it in my cart. I looked it up after the fact. It might get me about $20, but it does sell. So I'm going to grab it. It's brand new, sealed. You know, we're getting to that, fourth quarter season where gift giving becomes way more of a thing, and your sales volume hopefully will increase. And so I do pick items like that up a little bit more often than I normally do. There's a little horse there that's marked 15 that's brand new. I'm going to pass on that. This little Fisher Price thing with the Kids Bop game in it, that looks like a phone that's missing a piece. I didn't look it up. I'm assuming that little divot means it's missing something. So I left that behind, but we're going to bounce around to between 2 and 3 stores today because, like I said, I've got the time to do that. We're focused on Halloween. We're focused on shoes. Here's a great Halloween item. This is a 1994 and it's Dark Illusions. Glow in the dark, wall hanging. The artist, I believe, is Robert Marino. He is a toy sculptor and has been doing it since the mid 90s. He's still relevant. He's got his own website. I think it's 3D Illusions, something like that. Still sells those sculptures. As for keywords for that one, it's going to be gargoyle or devil. It's very light and very flimsy, but one of them recently sold for $50, and the active ones that are listed currently, that exact style, there's one listed for 80 that I remember correctly, but those items sell excellent. So I'm hoping to get a quick sale. I'll probably list mine at 50 as well. That could change based on maybe me going into Terapeak and giving myself more sales data to work on. But at first glance, I think $50 would be fair. I mean, the thing only cost $3 or $4. So very interesting to learn about him, and passing that knowledge along to you in hopes that you find items like this or very similar. So Robert Marino, definitely an artist to look for. But yeah, that very flimsy wall hanging thing, $50, and it's Halloween. I mean, it's everything that I'm asking for right now. I actually forgot to look this placemat up. This thing is really cute. It had like the Thanksgiving and Christmas on both sides, but I forgot to check it. Okay, shoes. At first glance, I loved both of these pairs of shoes. So this is a suede slip-on, style is Arlene. It's Coach. It's got that turn lock on it. The horse bit is still popular. That turn lock looks very clean, very reasonably priced at $6. But you know what? The market is saying that they're only going to pay $20 to $25 for the shoe if it's going to sell. And the same goes for this pair of shoes. This is another very clean pair of Coach pebble leather slip-ons. Frederica is the style. They are a women's size 9, wheelhouse size. Everything going on here is correct except the sales velocity. And because of that, I'm leaving both of them behind. What I've noticed in this store is normally these shoes would be $9 to $10, all the way up to $13 if they were regularly priced here. They've come down. I'm seeing a lot of the shoes now being priced back to the normal $5.99, which is a really encouraging sign. This is the women's shoe section, and then in this store they have a men's section that's a little bit smaller. But as far as the coach goes, I'm going with the sales data. I'm not going with my heart. We're going out of season, so I don't want to hold on to those shoes, and I certainly am not going to price them at $60. $20. And if I price them at $30, all indications are that they are going to sit and wait, even in that good condition. So I'm leaving those behind. I'm going to let that be somebody else's problem. And let's see if we can't find something with a little better sales data to go on. There are very few, I think, like good brands to choose this trip in this section. I mean, there's some where you could kind of go back and forth, but definitely looking for maybe more fall related items in most cases, although you're going to see in the next store I do pick up like a spring summer shoe, but there's a very good reason for that, so you'll see that in a second. These are cool, these like chunky Forever 21 shoe. I mean, those could work for like a costume maybe coming up, or something Halloween related, but I need sales data to make a decision on those. I want to see some actual solds, and I didn't see any, so we're going to leave those behind. That's really all I could find in that store, but I did get that one really nice Halloween item, so we're going to build on momentum. I don't know why this just came in my head, but I'm going to rant, and so you're stuck with this for a second. I don't know why I even bother to watch the Cleveland Browns on Sundays. Now, I'm sourcing in Columbus, Ohio. I went to school at the Ohio State University. That makes me an Ohio State Buckeye fan, so at least we have the Buckeyes to watch and cheer on. But the Browns are so anemic, and it is the same. It's like doing the same thing every single day and expecting different results. That's what it's like being a Cleveland Browns fan. It is absolutely pathetic. And now they've got a kicker that can't kick. I mean, I know you Clevelanders I'm commiserating with you, and so I'm like looking for comfort in knowing that I'm not the only complete buffoon who watches them with hopes that they'll actually produce something every year, and it never happens. It like literally never happens. So did your football team perform well this weekend? Who are you cheering for? And this could be college or pro. I want to know in the comments if you're proud of your team or how it went. Oh, Dead Meadow. I forgot to look this up. I don't know what this is, and I completely forgot that it was even on this rack. So this is me talking about chewing gum and walking at the same time. I keep forgetting to go back and look up certain things if I catch it on the spot, and I forgot. So I'm at Main Street, Hilliard area. If you guys know where this is and that's worth something, go get it, because I am long gone. But it is painful being a Browns fan, and I know it's a choice, and I know it's a choice I made consciously. But it's ridiculous. So I hope your team played better than. It's not that they didn't play good. It's just, you know how it is. Listen, your success is measured on wins and losses, and it was a loss. So whatever. There are no moral victories in the NFL. Those guys make way too much money. Way too much money. I guarantee that kicker makes way too much money to miss an extra point and the game-winning field goal. Okay, we are going to be moving out of season for Birkenstock, but I'm still going to buy these. So these are they Giza? Is that how you pronounce that? But that blue braid, this braided Giza style sells really well. And so I think I still sell these all the way clear through the fall season. I'm definitely picking them up. They're a size European 38, which is a woman's 7 in this shoe. Already photographed. It looks great. I'm putting them up for in between, I think, $45 and $50, and they will sell, I think, in the next few months. So where I'm going to leave the Coach behind because they don't sell for a very good amount and we're moving out of season, I'm definitely grabbing these Birkenstocks because I think they still will sell moving into fall and for an acceptable price. So definitely going to take those. The Giza, the normal style, even without the braids, sells really well, but I think velocity would slow on those. I think the braided style is a little bit harder to find. And looking at the current listings to solds, it was a really good ratio, if you will. So those Allegrias, those may have sold as well. I tend to leave more Allegria than I do pick up. So if you have success with that brand, let me know. Maybe I'll think twice about grabbing them in the future. But the Birks are great. And so we're checking the things off the list, trying to get more shoes, trying to find more Halloween-related items. So far, so good. It's not a ton, but the areas are not as fruitful right now as they have been in the past, and there's probably a million reasons for that, but I'm not going to go into it in this video. HISEA. I've never heard of this boot brand. It had like a little bit too much wear on the sole, So let's forget about those. And then there were a couple of shoes here. I don't know if these are WOTTE. They didn't have insoles, but that could have been interesting. I didn't look them up. So that's something I've never seen before. And then is this Kim Rogers? I don't know. These were marked $14.99, but that might have been a Gabe's tag. I don't know. I left those behind. So we got a decent pair of shoes so far. I'm definitely going to check Halloween, see if we can find anything. Nothing that didn't look like it was just the, generic impulse items that these thrift stores or these Goodwills get every year. There's a couple of animated spiders. There was one on the floor when I go to the other side, and then one up top. You'll see them in just a second. I've actually sold them in the past. I don't know if it was that exact brand, but those jumping electronic spiders where you hit like a little button on the ground and it jumps out at you. I think that's what that animation does. This was a cool tea light, but they had, what does he have, $9.99 on it? Either $5.99 or $9.99. That's way too high for an item like that, especially a seasonal one. See these LED jumping spiders? These are pretty cool, but when I looked inside the box and the one on the ground, it looked like both had been pretty mangled. So I really didn't, at $10, I don't trust that these things are going to work properly, and I certainly am not going to spend an hour trying to piece it back together. It just looked broken, discombobulated. So I'm leaving it behind, but I am going to pick up these Freebirds. I've sold only maybe a couple of Freebirds in the past. These shoes are really heavy, but they're in excellent condition. Now these are marked up to $10. Dietrich is the style name. They're a size 13. They're like a maroon oxblood color, great condition. But yeah, these are going to be about 3 pounds, and that makes a difference when you ship. I ship a lot of things priority still. So the difference, if we're talking about, say, Ohio to California, the difference between a 2-pound item and a 3-pound item is like $6. And so I have to pay attention to that. One of those things where Ground Advantage might be the better opportunity. It might be the better option to ship going all the way out to a state like California, so it's pretty far. But those shoes were in great shape. And that's one of the ones where I think I can sell them in the $70 and $80 range pre-owned. So I'm grabbing them. And I think they'll do well in the fall. So that is a good pickup. So, and again, another decent pair of shoes. Nothing else up here that I think I can work with, though. These are Asics. They're no good. And I thought maybe these were SAS, which I pass up most of the time now. So we're going to leave that store. We got a couple of pairs of shoes. And then the last store here, I found these New Balance 327s. The thing that I've learned about 327, very popular style right now, but way more popular for women. This is a men's size 13, and the width is just your standard D width. Multicolor, great looking shoe, but I'm going to be sitting on these a little bit longer because the men's styles, in my experience, sell slower than the women's styles, but the women's always fly off the shelves. I get 327s and they sell quick. So just food for thought. Your experience might be different. And this is me always pricing on the higher end when there's a hot trending item. I do not let those go for cheap. So I have mine listed for $60, and I am going to leave these Uggs behind. I considered them, but it's hard to articulate how the toe felt when I was touching it. It just felt really crusty. I don't know, it's kind of gross. And I don't think you can throw Uggs in the washer like I do with the vast majority of the shoes that need to be cleaned in that manner. So I put them back, but it was really stiff. And I'm sure there are ways to clean those, but I'm not going to spend the time to do it. I'm also not picking up Blazers right now. Like those are, if you want to move them quick, you got to price them at $20. I think Blazers have seen their day. It's not that they won't sell. It's not that trend has that the life cycle of that trend is on the downswing, and there's way more on the market than than the volume justifies. So you really have to price those at 20, 25. I've even seen some when I'm like late at night and I'm looking at on Facebook Marketplace Blazers that have been listed in the $20 range that have been there for months. So. I'm not picking those up anymore unless they are like a very unique style, pristine, clean. Price can't be beat. Maybe $1 or something like that. Then you can list them for 20. But no go on the Blazers. Can we find anything else on this rack? I don't see anything. Okay, it's football season. This is a very vintage 90s. Cowboys, I think American Needle is the brand hat. It does have a little moth bite. So I have to take that into consideration, but this is still going to be good for $30 to $35 even in that condition. The condition is fine. And just looking at some of the sold comparables that have issues, I don't think I'm going to have a problem listing them at 35. One of the things that I've learned with selling vintage hats is there are so many people that want to offer you $1 for something that's worth 50 when it comes to the vintage hats. There's another Dallas Cowboy one, Starter. I don't really like picking up fitted, and I don't like picking up youth, so I'm going to leave that behind. But I get so many low offers from the vintage kids when it comes to the hats. So I set most of them to decline a certain price automatically, so I don't have to deal with that nonsense. I don't know if your experience is the same, but yeah, you guys need to be realistic with your hat offers, kids. I got to tell you, because I'm not letting it go cheap. That's a hat that's not easy to find. All right, what else do we have here? A lot of purses that I haven't seen before. I don't know that was worth anything. That's nothing there. A bucket hat. Can't work with any of that. I don't think that Starbucks hat was a real hat. Or I mean, maybe it was. It felt like it was screen printed on after the fact. The letters felt really flimsy. You do have to dig though. Sometimes there's like some good wallets that are hidden in here, and they just stack them in there and throw them all at the same time. Sister Jean, is this Loyola? Yeah, she's probably $15, $20. They had that marked at $6. I'm not gonna run with that one. It's not that popular of a bobblehead. Kind of cool and unique, and it's out of place, but leave that behind. No brand. This might have been, what was that? There's no brand on a lot of these bags. A lot of this stuff is just generic. Nope. I don't even see anything the second time around. Pebbled leather, Steve Madden. I think both of those were Steve Madden. All right. This will be probably the second or the third time that I have sourced Bala bangles. You'll see them right here. These little weighted for the ankles or wrists. Actually, I think it's both. 2 pounds each, and they are brand new in the box. So if you get a rare color like silver sparkles, you'll get around $75, maybe even more for them. The color that I have is stone, so I still think I'll get $50 for them. Brand new in the box, only going to cost $5, and they were misplaced. It should have been in the sporting goods section, although it's very small in this store. So those are fantastic. I hope there's some people watching that didn't realize that was something to be on the lookout for, because it's another one of those very unassuming items that's boring. There's really no reason to price them up, and they are very desirable, so they will sell within a good amount of time. So I'm going to check, because that was an out-of-place item, the rest of this area a little bit closer. I do love the end caps. There's always fun little treasures to find in these areas, so I always look through them a little bit closer than I do sometimes like the clothing racks. I do go through like the stale racks that are in the store, but I'm much more interested in selling hard goods than I am clothing. I understand also that my area has a plethora of stores and tons of clothing items. It's the thing that's the most readily available. So I do get that, but I would much rather sell hard goods. I think I'm better at it in most cases. So with the exception of footwear, because that's what I do sell the most of. So let's check these end caps a little bit closer, at least this one. I don't know if there's anything else. If I missed something, I'll always call it out. Everybody's here to learn. So that was a great find. Can't wait to put it in the hands of someone that really needs them to, maybe I'll give you guys a update in a future video on my health situation, because I have definitely committed to fitness and I've been pretty consistent. My back has been holding up lately, so I've been taking care of that and doing way more exercises related to my lower back and trying to strengthen that, in just addition to generally getting bigger. So that's been going. I've put on a lot of weight, and but it's all been good weight. So maybe I'll give you an update on all that stuff in the future. But I'm going to end this sourcing trip with this amazing item, and I believe that this will sell between $100 to $200. This is Sand Art by KB Collections. The artist's name is Klaus Bosch. If you go to their website right now, these retail for around $350 to $400 brand new. This style is called the Captain Haddock, I believe. It's about 11 inches wide, and I have mine listed already for $200. That was a fantastic find, and there just are not a lot of them. His art and that type of sand art is a great seller. If you cross list or cross post, sites like Etsy might get you better traffic sooner, but I do think that on eBay I can still sell that piece of sand art for $200. So I do have it listed there, but what a great way to end the sourcing trip. It's a hard good. It's in a different type of category. It's not the same old, same old. As far as how fast it's going to sell, there's no telling how fast it will sell. Brand new to me, but when I saw those comparables in the $200 range, I got really, really happy. So it was a good find. These Hokas, again, there's too much wear towards the toe. It looked like the rubber was coming apart at the top. So we're not going to mess with them. These were not Crocs. There was a different brand. That is Sanuk. I don't pick those up. Tom's, no go there. Joseph Abood. Not much else here really to work with. So we have some shoes, some Halloween, and then that banger at the end. I'm definitely satisfied. Let's head home. All right, I think that is going to be all for this video. Let me know what your favorite find this week has been so far. I know it's early in the week. Feel free to let me know in the comments. I love the sand art. I think that was a really nice pickup. I'm playing right now with some like anthropomorphic, and I'll maybe show you in a future video. If I haven't put them in a video, I don't think I did. Some little wall hanging figures. They look like they're made out of coconuts. They're really interesting, but again, that's just me like trying to get outside of my comfort zone and learn new categories. But what was your best find this week? That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and all you Browns fans, I'll see you next Sunday.